We interrupt this program. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. A nuclear attack was commenced against the United States. 15 nuclear bombs have detonated in several areas across the country. They include Baltimore, Boston, Chicago, Denver, Detroit, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York, Pennsylvania, Portland, Maine, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle, and Washington, D.C. At this time, all residents within a 400-mile radius of these areas should seek a fallout shelter. Fallout is a product of nuclear attacks. Prolonged exposure to fallout will result in certain death. If there is a nearby location that has been designated as a fallout shelter, go there now. Otherwise, seek shelter in the interior part of a strong building on the lowest floor. Make sure you have food, water, and a battery-powered radio with you. Do not exit the fallout shelter until the all-clear has been given. Tune to a station that is serving your area for more information. The President will be speaking on all stations shortly. Stand by for this message. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air, providing news and information to the public in assigned areas.
We're tonight's entertainment.
You ever get the feeling that everything in America is completely fucked up?
Our fathers were models for God. If our fathers failed, what does that tell you about God?
There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Podcast, part of the DNA Digital Network.
This is the most disgusting thing I've ever drank.
I doubt that very much, Playboy.
The Functioning Drunks brought to you by Patreon Gen. Patreon Gen is really awesome. The Functioning Drunks is recorded in front of a slightly intoxicated audience.
I liked it. It wasn't as good as the first one, though. It wasn't as good as the first one. I think you got a little scared. I think you lost what you were saying in the middle of it.
I could try again. Or do you want to give it a shot? You
sure,
try.
I'll try. I think we should leave all this in, though. You're listening to the Functioning Drunks Podcast, part of the DNA Digital Network.
This is the most disgusting thing I've ever drank.
I doubt that very much, Playboy.
You're listening to the Functioning Drunks Podcast, brought to you by Patreon Gen, because Jen is the only one that actually fucking cares to support this show with monetary goods. The Functioning Drunks Podcast is filmed in front of a slightly intoxicated audience. I don't know why I'm putting so many pauses in this, but welcome. This is the Functioning Drunks Podcast, episode number 31.
Yep.
Yes. Did you open the beer already?
You had to.
Is that the rule?
Yeah. I already got 3 open.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, that was horrible. That was shit.
What?
Yeah, it was really bad.
All right, you do it now.
Okay.
The first half hour is just going to be us doing an intro, and I like that.
Yeah. It's high quality entertainment. This is what Jen pays for.
Wait, explain to me why that was shit.
The pauses sucked, man. Now, I
could
could
edit the pauses out.
I could tighten it up, huh?
Yeah. The rest of it was good.
I think everyone wants me to do it again, though.
All right. Everyone meaning you.
Yep.
All right.
And Jen.
Jen. She just wants to hear her name like so many times because then it's like we're, oh, Jen, oh, oh God, Jen.
Yep. Say it like, if you say it too much, though.
And
is it still Jen?
Yeah, right.
Jen,
exactly.
Jen,
There's like
Jen,
words
Jen,
that
Jen,
change into
Jen,
something else.
Jen, yeah.
They start to lose their meaning, like love,
Right.
love. So how you doing, AJ? Are you going to do it again, or
yeah? I got one more in me.
Okay. You're listening to the Functioning Drunks podcast, part of the DNA Digital Network.
This is the most disgusting thing I've ever drank.
I doubt that very much, Playboy.
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Functioning Drunks podcast, brought to you by Jen. That's right, Jen. Jen sends us money every time we put out a podcast. Oh, and by me, too, because I put money into the podcast as well. Sit back and enjoy.
Wait, now this just seems like a slam on me. I put work in. I put work into it.
You do put a lot of work into it.
Not a lot. I wouldn't say a lot. I type on Twitter about us, and
compared to me, you do a hell of a good job. I just I show up.
You're the finances. You're the money backer, and we appreciate that. I mean,
yep.
if you didn't spend some money, we wouldn't have anywhere to put the MP3s for this podcast. So that's pretty important.
Right. I just show up with my hand out.
Let us before we get into the show, let's do our plugs, our butt plugs. Now, what I wanted you to do, So when I say plugs, you say butt. Okay, we've got plugs, plugs. Yeah. Anyways, you can find us on functioningdrunks.com, on Twitter at FDPodcast69, and on Patreon if you want to join Jen as being a fucking awesome human individual who supports not only our drug habits but our podcast. That's at DNA Digital Network on Patreon. And, of course, Jen upped her Patreon payments again today. Or not today, but this week. She went from $2 to $5. She said that she can't figure out how to use Patreon. And it is kind of a clunky website. But I think that first time when she donated $20, I think that was a total and complete mistake on her part.
So she keeps trying to get out of it, and she keeps upping her.
Then, damn it! Now I just gave him $10. But Jen supported us with a $5 donation, and that gets her a shout out, which we always shout her out anyways. So we love Jen, and she's supported us basically from episode 5 on. I mean, it's ridiculous how much she's put up with our bullshit.
Right? Yeah.
But
I think we've gotten a lot better in the last 3 podcasts, but it has been a rocky road. And maybe someday we should do a podcast about how to start a podcast, because we've tried a bunch of different ways, and it's not easy. And I think right now it's pretty streamlined for us. Like, it's on a budget. I mean, we can't put $1,000 into this.
Yeah.
You can throw money at it, but yeah.
We could buy a studio and sound fucking amazing if we wanted to. I mean, we have that kind of money at our fingertips.
You know what's funny is I think it's It's kind of hard. I think I used to do a better job with just cassette tapes. You know, it's hard trying to get it into the digital world and then get it off of digital stuff out there for everybody else to get.
For us, it seems to be a little harder for us to figure out how to manipulate the sound on a digital file, whereas tape, you'd know how to. And honestly, I mean, I'm recording in a kitchen, which is not optimal for recording, and you're recording in a house with high ceilings and a wooden floor in there, right?
It's like concrete, but
which
yes.
that should be good, right? A concrete floor should be good for sound recording.
It's still it's really bouncy.
Is it? Okay.
But the mics help out a bunch. I think,
Oh yeah, definitely. I did a mic check a couple days ago. I put the Snowball on and I did some voice work, and then I put this back on and did a voice work, and then I played them together, and this one sounds a million times better.
Right.
So if Audio Technica wants to support the show in any kind of financial way, I mean, we wouldn't be opposed to that either.
Right. Although we already have some mics, so
yeah. So send something else
yeah. Actually, I guess we can just go over it real quick. That's number one. We have Audio Technica mics.
Yes.
That are USBs, and they cost $35 on Amazon.
And the reason we bought them was because we thought about buying a mixer, because you can convert these right into the mixer as well. They're mixer compatible.
But that would be if we were in the studio together.
Right.
I don't think that wouldn't help us at this point, which I really like this.
Point,
this whole thing with the Skype, I think is pretty awesome, because a lot of times when the show's over, you and I talk for a while. And
we had a really good conversation on the last episode afterwards.
Yeah, and well, in the last couple episodes, it's kind of been fun. I don't have to leave my house,
which was causing some issues.
It is, yeah, and you can't be drinking and driving. I mean, yeah,
no, we don't want you to die.
Yeah, I think this is. I didn't think it would be. If someone told me, "Hey, let's get drunk on Skype and hang out," I'd be like, "That's lame. Let's just get drunk and drive." But this is actually a lot cooler than it sounds.
Well, that wasn't smart to say that. You shouldn't drink and drive.
Right.
For the under 21 gals and guys that are listening to us.
Right. Exactly.
But
that's bad.
Skype has played a really important role in my life. Actually, I met Kristen online, and we dated on Skype for the first 6 months of our relationship, and then we moved in together, and then moved out to California, and then I would Skype with my dad, and that's been pretty cool too. So I don't feel as badly about not being in the same area as my dad. It keeps us together. So Skype has been a pretty cool thing for me over my lifetime.
Yeah, I talk to my dad on Skype sometimes too.
Do you?
Well, actually, now he's got. That's the cool thing about Apple stuff, is he can FaceTime me,
right?
And it's kind of the same thing. Or so
right?
He's got one of those Magic Jacks too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So sometimes he calls me on that too. But
now, where does he live?
He lives in Australia.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure if he had moved back to the States or.
No, it's a whole other country.
Yeah. So what's the delay like on Skype with that?
It's about as same as what we have here.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. So the other thing we have Audio Technica mics. This is the the ATR 1200. These also have a headphone jack in them, so we could, if we wanted to, hook a headphone jack straight into the mic, because sometimes there's delay as the computer converts it and does whatever. We don't really worry about that because we're on Skype, and so I can't hear my voice right now. I've got a set of earbuds in that is connected to my computer with Bluetooth. I think you run a wired setup, right?
Yeah, I'm wired up with my shitty headphones. I need to invest in some better ones.
But you can't you can't hear yourself, right? You can only hear me
through the headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only hear you on the headphones. I don't think I'd want to hear myself on the headphones. That would confuse me.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get that level right.
Yeah,
and then what we're doing,
especially once we were intoxicated, I don't think I could handle that.
It'd be weird voices in your head.
Yeah, and I would just stop to hear myself and then laugh at myself all the time, and all you'd hear on the podcast is, "He said that." AJ's gonna edit that out. He can't say that.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're going to so Skype, and then I have Call Recorder, which was $40, and I think actually it's called something else. But this has turned out to work pretty well. Let me pull up my thing here.
I will say the sound that it records is really, really good.
And it's mainly Sorry, I started looking and I can't.
No, that's
Ecamm.
Okay.
It's called the Ecamm recorder, and it's for Skype. And once you download it, it then goes into Skype. And every time you open up Skype, this thing pops up. So then this, when it's done, I can split it into 2 files, one being you and everybody on Skype, and then the other one being just my vocals, which is what usually sounds different. And then I can put it into GarageBand, and from there I can turn the levels up and down and put things in there and take things out that Dennis says. And then we're all set.
You say that Dennis says?
Yeah, Dennis says stuff I take out, and then we can move on. And you can change it to an MP3 at that point, because I don't know what Apple...
That's what Apple requires for their podcasts to be playable.
Yeah. So at
least
talked about that.
Unless we did a video podcast, and I think then they take FLVs, I think it is. But I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up.
We got a ways to go.
But yeah, that's what the poor guys do. That's how we record, and that's your little education of how to podcast that we had to learn over 30 episodes. We used to record here at my house, and we would always have horrible. One time we didn't have the microphone on, and we thought it was on the whole time.
There is these tricky on-off switches on the top, which get us all the time. Well, I'll log in, and I can see him, and he's like, "I can't hear you," and I'm like, "I can hear you," and yeah, there's a switch.
Yeah, that was an epic fail that time.
Yeah.
And then we started recording in the same room on different computers. And I don't remember exactly why we were doing it that way. Were we doing it through Skype?
No, I think that was that live stuff or something, but
okay. And we plugged it in. We had actually one computer, 2 live mics, 2 live video feeds. And our voices were hitting each other's microphones, causing echoes, and that was a diarrhea bullshit thing.
Yeah, and then sometimes one of us will get super loud. Like I remember the one of the podcasts, you can hear me like breathing, and every little like that's how I sound when I don't have my filter on.
The funny thing is, on episode 100, I'll come clean and say that I manipulated all these certain events, and that it was actually perfect audio, but I would make you breathe louder, and I would turn your mic off, and
yeah,
that's episode 100 though. So you're gonna have to stick it out for another 69 episodes.
Oh yeah, I couldn't count. 70.
69 episodes.
69. Oh yeah. We're 69 away from 100.
Yeah, nice. You know what? When we approach episode 69, we have to do something amazing.
Okay, well, we have like another year to think about that.
No, we're only 38 episodes away. That's 38 weeks. 38 weeks.
That's a long fucking time, man.
Yeah, I might be dead by then.
Yeah.
So that brings me up.
Definitely going to be homeless by then.
Oh no, buddy! I'm going to move in with you. So, I sent you a list of things to talk about tonight because we are trying to get a little more streamlined and come in having some ideas of what the fuck we're going to do.
There's no we in this, okay? This is all you.
Oh, you don't want to do it? You want to throw everything away and just?
No, it's fine. You have topics, which is fine. I tried that and you poo-pooed it, but if it's your idea, that's fine.
I've never poo-pooed on you about topics. What topics?
I used to stress about it and try to get you topics, and you're like, you look at your notes too much, and you're not natural.
When did I say that? I don't remember that ever happening. I thought it was
3 or 4, yeah.
I thought it was a communicated thing that we didn't want to be too scripted because there's too many scripted podcasts.
Yeah. No,
maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I need to apologize to you right now.
Well,
maybe we should be way ahead of game right now and taking what you wanted to do.
I always tried to come in with some stuff, but that was the first couple episodes, and since then we've done another 25 episodes, and it's been fine. So
yeah, I think it's been fine. But I think it's time to enter another realm so that we can we can catapult ourselves into the podcast universe in the year of 2018.
And if there's people out there that would like to comment on the new Function Drunks podcast, you're not allowed to unless you're Jen.
Or positive. If you don't like us and give us if you don't like us and give us money, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you don't like us and don't give us money, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to tell us how shitty we are unless you give us money first.
Right. Then you can do whatever you want to us.
Yep.
Whatever you want. Right on my face. But I've been finding that I've been blacking out a lot lately.
Blacking
when I drink.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I haven't turned a corner, but
when you drink? Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, when I drink. I've been blacking out a lot more often than I ever have in my entire life as a drinker. And I'm drinking less is what is really concerning me.
So, like,
and,
you wake
and
up and
why I say this is I was just on Facebook sending a message, and I was looking at things that I'd said in previous messages, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't remember saying any of this. Not that any of it was things that I said that I wouldn't have said or didn't mean, but I have no recollection of saying these things. And it happened to me again. It happened 2 or 3 weeks ago. I sent a bunch of messages to other people, and it caused a shitstorm. And I'm just like, I need to either just completely stop drinking or hide my phone and change my passwords when I'm intoxicated, because I can't do it anymore. There's something in my brain, in my head right now, that I can't control myself anymore. And it's a monster that is taking over. And to anybody that I send messages to anymore, just ignore them. Ignore them until the waking hour. And then we'll have a conversation. And I'll probably still say the same things, but at least then I'll remember them.
I think that's a phenomenon that a lot of people have on the social media, though. It's like I see it, or I hear. I don't see it because
you don't social media.
But my wife will tell me, yeah, this person said all this stuff, and then she'll be like, oh, they deleted it, so maybe they're having the same problem.
Oh, yeah, I do a lot of deleting the next morning. I'll go, let's see what I did last night.
So do you wake up in bed? Or do you wake up in the middle of the floor? Or do you wake up in bed? Or do you wake up in weird places?
No, never. I always wake up in bed. I always, I always wake up thinking, you know what, that was a good night. And then...
Do you remember going to bed?
No. Do I remember going to bed? Sometimes, not every time. But that's a weird thing, man. And it never used to happen. So I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older. Because honestly, the other night, Thursday night, school was canceled Friday, so I was like, I'm gonna have myself some drinks. I didn't eat a lot, so I think maybe that has a lot to do with it, because I haven't been eating a lot. You wouldn't be able to tell by my girlish figure,
right.
but I mean,
it'll take a couple weeks.
But yeah, I didn't eat much that day, but I didn't drink a whole bunch either. So it's weird. It's weird what triggers blackouts. I want to know what happens.
But it's not like you're blacking out and falling down. You just can't. Yeah.
No.
Plenty of times where
I'm not falling down or hurting myself. I'm just blacking out and not remembering things that I'm doing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I can kind of relate to that once in a while. And I can usually, if I think about it long enough, I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember this or remember that. Or somebody will say, hey, you did this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I did, didn't I?
Shit,
that was dumb.
You're gonna call me out on that now?
But it was usually with whiskey, never with beer. It's usually some sort of shots.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't drink. I try not to drink hard liquor, especially by myself. But
yeah.
Maybe
you're just a pussy.
No, I don't think that's what it is. I think I could outdrink 99% of the United States of America. I'm not gonna ever challenge a German.
Whoa!
But
99% though, huh? You're the 1%.
No. I think I could outdrink 90. No, I don't think I'm the 1%. I'm just thinking that there's not too many people that can outdrink me. I mean, let's be honest. No.
I think I could outdrink you.
Set the rules. Is it beer? Is it liquor? Is it wine? Is it beer?
Yeah. And it's throughout the day.
Okay.
And actually, it's whatever you want to drink, but whatever's brought up, you have to do.
No, it can't be whatever, because that's not a fair fighting ground. That's like a heavyweight fighting a lightweight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You are.
No. I'm saying whiskey. Whiskey is gonna outdo. You're not gonna be able to drink whiskey all day, and I drink beer all day. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
I know. I'm saying, like, so. Here's what I picture. We wake up in the morning. Do you drink coffee in the morning?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna drink some coffee, and with my coffee, I'm gonna put in some whiskey, and I'll probably have 2 of those.
All right.
And then I'm gonna switch over to beer while I'm making breakfast.
Okay. Is this a work day?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then
Christ.
I'm going to drive down.
How many miles do you drive?
Yeah. No, it's not a work day. That'd be silly. But I'm talking like get up at 7, start drinking while you're making breakfast, and just go throughout the day. And at 10 o'clock at night, you go, holy shit, I went through a 30-pack and a pint of whiskey.
Right. Yeah. You think you can? Okay, so I don't remember the year. I'm going to say it was 2008. I had just broken up with the girl that I thought I was going to marry. Wait, no. Yeah, 2008. I just had broken up with the girl that I thought I was going to marry because I was head over heels in love with this woman. And I learned over social media that she had found another dude that she liked better than me. And then we broke up. Yeah, awesome. Social media is fucking great.
But not too many good things that come out of it, really.
Apparently not. And why am I still on it?
I don't know.
So that year, 2008, I decided I was going to do an experiment on myself. I was going to drink as much as I possibly could for 1 year. For 1 year, I would drink an 18-pack of beer every night. Every night. And I did it 365 straight days. And people will say, no, you didn't. You didn't drink 18 beers every day for 365 days. I say I did.
And sometimes more, right?
And
then on the weekend, you're like, whoa, I got. What else am I going to do with those other 3 hours now?
So I did this, and I worked. I never called in sick. You can ask my dad. My dad would get up in the middle of the night because I lived with my dad. He'd get up in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd be slunched over, drinking, getting to that 18th beer because I'm not going to go to bed without it.
Fuck you, Dad. I got 3 more.
What did you do? 10? Fucking pussy. And he'd be like, I don't know how. And every day I'd come home. I'd do my 10-hour shift. I'd come home and he'd be like, how are you doing this? I was like, science. I don't know why that's an answer. But
it's a bet, Dad. I bet myself.
Bet myself. I can't live with myself if I can't do this. Yeah. All along, I was just a fucking child, and I was just an alcoholic.
I loved her. I was going to marry her.
That's fine, but get all those beer bottles out of your room.
They're my friends, Dad. No,
they're the only ones that care.
This is kind of how deer camp goes. I don't hunt, so I just cook, and they get up early. I think I've told the story. Huh?
Have you ever been a hunter?
Not really. I've done it a few times, but I don't get it. I think it's kind of cruel. Not the fact that we kill things or any of that. I just think
you lure them in. You lure them in.
Right. You lure them in with food, and then you have.
Hey, baby, here's some food. Have some food. Here's some more food. Here's some more food. Bam! You're dead.
Yeah, with a gun, right?
Gun.
Which is a major advantage.
You know what? If I ever become president of the United States, I won't ban hunting. But you know what? Guns stay home. you can bait, but once you decide it's time to kill, you walk out there and you fight. You fight like a goddamn man with your hands.
Yeah.
Fucking hands.
Just have hunting season for like the pussies for their hunting time, and the rest of the year it's open. You can kill as many as you want, but you got to do it with your bare hands.
Bare hands or teeth. You can't use your teeth. You're not gonna fucking eat that shit.
Yeah, you can use a stick, but not a knife. So they'd all get up and go out super duper early, and I'd sleep in a little bit longer, and then about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whenever the sun started coming up, I'd get up, make some coffee. They'd come back, not seeing anything, and then I'd start breakfast, and I'd be drinking whiskey in my coffee, and then they're like, "You drinking?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man! Like I ain't hunting."
That's what deer camp is.
I'm the fucking cook. So I'd make them breakfast. Then I'd usually start in on lunch or dinner. Like we'd do like ribs or briskets or things that took a while. And that was like my day. And the funniest thing was at 2 o'clock almost every afternoon, the deer, there was one of those, they make these things that spread around, what's it called? Corn? Yeah, corn. It's like this barrel you fill up, and the thing makes a bunch of racket as it spreads corn all around, and it goes off on a timer. And it's like it's like a dinner bell out there. So this thing's like as the corn's flying out of it, and then the squirrels would come in, they'd get some. The turkeys would come in and they get some, and then the deer would come in and they get theirs, and they would blast the deer. We're like, I don't know, 50, 75 yards away from deer camp. We're listening to techno and got a big fire going, and we're making brisket, and the deer would be like, well, fuck, I'm just going to go eat all this shit.
Sounds like a goddamn party.
And they'd blast them, and I'm like, why the hell are you guys getting up so damn early when you could just hang out here with me?
Play some techno.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. They liked techno. The first time we were hooking up power, and the thing went off, and we're like watching the, squirrels and all the shit, and we're like walking around hooking up our camping equipment, and no shit, there's a deer, and the guy's like grabs his gun, puts some ammo in it, walks over, leans up against a tree, and blasts it. So that's my kind of hunting.
I would go to deer camp if I could just eat brisket all day.
Hell yeah. Oh man, when I was making brisket, I'd make like whatever we didn't eat, I'd make a chili out of that. We'd have beef bacon, like almost every morning.
Yep.
Which is brisket, but it's brined and cooked like bacon. It's really good.
Yeah.
And just eat pretty good at deer camp.
When are you going to open up your own restaurant?
I don't think I ever will.
Why? We call it the Functioning Drunks Restaurant.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. I used to think I wanted to do that, but
I know, I remember.
The thing of it is I